Hey, true believers, Chris Mack coming at you with another awesome, just absolutely awesome figure review. Today we are going over the Marvel Legends 80 years anniversary Iron Man, and I have been looking high and low for this bad mamma jamma, and I have not been able to find it. So I want to first and foremost give a shout out to my buddy Ramon for keeping an eye out for me and finally hooking me up with one. So I appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much. If you guys do want to get this, I do see that it's sold out essentially everywhere online. So I'd say first and foremost, check with your local comic shop and see if they have one of these in. Because I have seen it at the comic shop at one point in history and I slept on it and I've regretted that since. So don't do what I did. Also, if you don't have a local comic shop, I do see that there's 2 left on DMW All Things Marvel. So if you've been searching, I'd suggest hitting that up ASAP. Now, with that said, you see Iron Man in the box. It has the classic Iron Man logo, which I love. Marvel Legends or Legends series, fancy semantics. Right there, Marvel 80 years there. Come around to the side and love this piece by Alex Ross. That is gorgeous work there. Come around to the back and you get a better look at it, which I think just spectacular. There's a read up, so I'll make sure to get a closer look for your convenience. You come around to the side again, here's the Alex Ross artwork again, and just, I've loved his artwork since I was a kid, so I'm particularly very partial to it. Come back around to the front, nothing on the top, nothing on the bottom. So, is this figure awesome or not? Let's go ahead and crack it open and get a closer look. And here's the Invincible Iron Man out of his packaging. And as you can see, guys, with that gold paint and just getting a nice 360 view of him, an absolutely stunning figure. However, as you can see from the semi-awkward pose of the hero landing, there are a couple articulation problems, but we'll get into that. But first, let's just enjoy this awesome Mark II armor, the shimmering paint apps. Oh my goodness, this is just one beautiful figure. And I can't wait to just start posing him around, start taking photos with him. So with that said, now that we've had a moment to gush over him, let's get him off the stand and take a closer look at this 80th anniversary figure. Now, before we get into the accessories, quick backstory on Tony Stark. His first appearance was Tales of Suspense number 39 from March 1963. And if you've seen the Robert Downey Jr. film, they did a really good job of capturing his backstory and, you know, introducing that giant tanky armor that he first wore and whatnot. But what's kind of funny is when Stan Lee was talking about how he created Tony, he said that he's based on Howard Hughes. Howard Hughes was a real life like playboy, philanthropist, etc., so forth. So Stan Lee did that in creating Tony, but at the time, you know, it was Cold War, people hated war, so he said that he wanted to create a character that embodied the war, the industrial war complex, essentially, and see what people think. And people embraced Iron Man, but I think that's because even though, you know, selling weapons is not exactly the greatest thing, you know, Tony had charisma and enough interestingness and written real well to be a liked character, and now he's a household name. Speaking of that clunky armor, just a moment ago, his first appearance of this red and gold that we're going over right now was Tales of Suspense number 48, December 1963. And, you know, Tony kind of went through Tales of Suspense until issue 99, where I guess it became, was renamed to Captain America, which is kind of cool. And that's when in 1968, the Invincible Iron Man number 1 came out. So that's just kind of his quick backstory. There's a lot of rich history with this character, so make sure to kind of just dive in and enjoy yourself. And in the meantime, let's go over the accessories of this amazing figure. First and foremost, as you can see, he comes with 2 repulsor hands, which is cool. The only thing about the repulsor hands, we'll talk more about in the articulation, but you know how most wrists can move up and down like this? These do not. They're just take-off hands, which I wish that they would kind of fix that, but as you can see, no joints, so it's just like crap. So those are the repulsor hands. Let me see if I can get Tony to stand up so we can mosey on along. All right. He does come with these 2 really cool yellowish blast effects, which I've never seen before, so I'm assuming that when this character came out that these were brand new. really awesome. And what's nice about him is alone you can either put him in his hand or his foot. And then there's also a peg right there, so you could take these really nice recolored yellow effects and plug them in that way, so you can get like a triple layer takeoff, which is really nice. Or if you want to, you can take that part out, and it's all falling apart on me. But I like that, what I'm getting at is I like that these break down. As you can see here, we can either have a single blast for his hand, or just this, you know, plug them all in there. So, and the yellows, just a really nice added bonus with the white. I do wish that they were a little more translucent. As you can see, it's more of a whole color, which kind of kills it, but nonetheless, nice effects there. And he comes with both sets for both sides of his body. That's more the head that I have on Iron Man right now is more the kind of classic Silver Age look. And then when we talk about the Mach 2, I guess this would be more of a, means you got more modern-esque, which I prefer this head, though I do like the option that we have both different eras of the mask here. I like that this one has the nose mask, and you can actually see if I can get the light on it, which probably not, but you can kind of see little mouth grates on this one, which I'm having a hard time pointing out in the light, but there's grates in there, so kind of that, again, old school look, but I really prefer this head. I don't know, this one, it's cool, but it looks too like box head. It reminds me of the I can't remember his name, the metal guy from Doom Patrol. That's just me. And it just looks a little too robotic, or something from what's that film, Metropolis. But anyway, both heads are welcomed, and you know, depending on what you want to do, how retro you want to do your photography, at least you have the options there. Speaking of options, I'm glad to finally have a comic accurate version head sculpt of Tony Stark, not the Robert Downey Jr. one, because I don't really get into movie figures unless one really, really speaks to me, and I'll talk about that as we go over some of the movie figures I have. But those blue eyes look great. No real splotching to speak of there. Mustache looks good. Black hair. I do kind of feel like it would have been neat to kind of go classic, which I think you can kind of see a little bit of blue in there. Kind of like the Superman that we went over. Maybe not. Maybe it's just me being on crack. Ha ha ha. But yeah, no real paint splotches to talk about. Very well done Tony Stark head. So that was one of the things that really got me excited about the 80th anniversary, other than, of course, the shimmering armor. And then what I like too is, okay, we get the fist hands, which, okay, most figures get fist hands, open hands, yada, yada, yada. But I like on this one that even though they're closed, you still can see the repulsor raising his hands are yellow. So they haven't shot off yet. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. So you get a really nice set of accessories with this figure. Very welcomed indeed. There are a few things I wish he would have got, like maybe a flip visor for his head, or like a battle damaged Tony Stark, or you know, like a Demon in the Bottle one where he's all gruff on his face and whatnot. Those would have been some welcome accessories. But the paint apps on the figure itself, as we just talked about the head, very well done. I love the shimmering gold, the red. I like that the little exhausts or whatever these are supposed to be here, like the yellow there. I kind of wish, okay, even though this is painted white, okay, cool. I wish that they could put like a little pin here or in the neck or somewhere, so when light hits it, this would illuminate, kind of like they did with the War on Cybertron. Was it War on Cybertron? It might have been War on Cybertron Shockwave with his head. And try to say that 3 times fast. Just kidding. But anyway, red, and then I like the little discs here, which I never understood. I guess hip pads or something. I like that you can see the musculature on the armor, ribs and whatnot, so very anatomically correct. I like how his old armor always had the kind of the striped, it's not called a stripe, there's a word for it, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But it makes it look metal. Same thing on his wrists here, on the bracers, on the gloves, and on his boots all the way around. Just gives off that nice old school vibe. And then I just love how this gold screams all around, and what's best is the fact that the gold and whatnot and the red goes all the way around, so it doesn't look like, you know, they didn't finish the back piece. They wanted to make sure that they were quite thorough on this character. And again, I like how, you know, the chest piece here looks like, you know, you'd slide his arms through, and, you know, got the hole. So it's great little attention to details like that, how you remember seeing the armor in the old comics. So yeah, beautiful, wonderful, gorgeous, astounding paint apps. Now articulation, this is kind of where things are good, but also just where my butt starts to get frosted on the wall. Or you know how you say you get chapped up the wall and frosted, and however you want to say that you're irritated. How about that? Anyway, let's start with the head. I do like that the neck is kind of like a double jointed one because you can get him to look down that much. And he does rock, so you can kind of rock him forward or rock him back. Get him to look up that high, which is awesome, especially when you want to do flying shots. Head spins that way, head spins that way. Arms do go 360. Then of course this way, which is good stuff. Upper bicep swivel, which I can see that Iron Man is going out of focus, so hold on a minute, guys, because, you know, things. He does have double jointed elbows. Wrist spins 360, and when you, like I said, when you have the punching gloves on, you can put it up that way, put it down that way. But the repulsor hands, there's absolutely no way to do that. And I kind of wish that he was a little more bendy, like, you know, how most of the modern ones, you can kind of spin them that way. This one is not the case, although that you can get a little bit of play in the head, which is welcome. So he does spin that way, and here's where it kills me. So say you want to do, like, you know, try and do like the hero landing that we did at the beginning of the video. You need that ab crunch, and as you can see, he only goes down that far forward. So that's real frustrating and just chaps me left and right. At least on the flip side, you get more on the back, but I kind of wish, like with more modern figures, how you know there's an extra pivot here in the waist that helps them, so you get that nice range of motion that way. Now legs can go out this way. Those discs are soft plastic, and you can kind of see where they're attached, so just make sure to be dadgum careful with that. So not too bad that way, not too bad forward. However, he kind of suffers the fate of what the older legends had, where, once I make sure the focus is set, butt flap. Can't really go back because of the butt flap. And if you warm it up and try to do that, then you're going to warp his ass, and it's going to stick out here and look ridiculous. So I hate that you can't really go backwards with the leg, all because of a flippin' butt flap. And that's one of my biggest frackin' pet peeves with modern figures, or at least the older waves of Marvel Legends. They've gotten better, but I kind of wish, that's why I said they wanted to redo like a deluxe version of this, you know, Hasbro, hint, hint, poke, poke. Anyway, upper thigh cut, good. Double jointed knees. And I like that instead of having another cut in the leg like right here, it's part of the boot. So boot cut, I guess you can call it. Feet can go up that much, feet can go down that much. And then of course both ankle pivots work very, very well. And again, before you guys start moving and bending your figure around, make sure to definitely warm them up so that you can get those joints nice and loose. So for the articulation, other than those few things that really frost me, for lack of a better word, still great, and I'm loving this figure. Now here's Tony next to his fellow Avengers. Here we have the Red Skull Build-A-Figure Wave Captain America. This is big, beautiful Marvel Diamond Select Incredible Hulk, and this, I love this figure. This is the Walmart exclusive Black Widow, and I can't wait to go over her because just excellent figure. Anyway, talking about Iron Man. As you can see, just having them up against all different generations of oh, there goes Nat. Let's put her back up real quick. No falling. I'm trying to talk. As you can put them up against older figures, you know, like these are some of the more earlier legends, and then she kind of came out later down the road, and then he's way older. This still looks like a comic version accurate Avenger team. And I can't wait to start getting some more photos with these guys. Need to break out my Hawkeye, and who else do I have for the Avengers? I can't think of off the top of my head. I need to get an Ant-Man. So if y'all know which Ant-Man would be a great one for the Marvel Legends to get, let me know down in the comments, because I don't know if I really want to go with the movie one. I want to try to stay more focused on the comic book era. And yeah, just kind of coming back to it, just looks so great. I mean, whether you guys are going to do photography with them or posing them on a shelf, y'all are going to have a great time with every single one of these photos, especially this 80 years Iron Man in his Mach 2 armor. Love this figure. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I love this Iron Man. Yes, just like with any action figure, there are going to be problems, but purely the aesthetics alone can make me forgive some of those problems, because this is a Mark II old school looking Iron Man. And plus, Hasbro, I do feel like they really went out of their way to get us accessories for this figure, so I cannot damn them for that. However, if I did have my druthers, and let's say they did like a re-release for like a deluxe edition, it'd be really cool to see like one of the armor helmets where you could flip up the visor and have a comic version Tony Stark head, or a rugged looking version for like the Demons in the Bottle story arc, or a battle damaged head, because I know they have like a Robert Downey Jr. one, but to have like a more comic accurate one like this, I think would be very welcome. But the fact that we actually get a Tony Stark head, hey, I'm okay with that. I do kind of wish that the repulsor rays were more translucent, but nonetheless, you get the right lighting on them, as you can see, and they look beautiful. So everything that this 80-year Iron Man is about, I highly recommend this figure. And if you are an Iron Man fan, this is the one for you. I have a couple of different ones. I got that Shang-Li Iron Man AI one, primarily because it did have that Mark II look about it, but the yellows and the reds on it are more like a flat paint, as where this is a very nice glossy one and looks more metallic. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this one near and dear to my heart. And if you guys have really liked what you've seen with this figure, please first and foremost support your local comic shop and see if they have one in stock. And if not, then you can check out the routes that we talked about at the beginning of this video. And if you've enjoyed this video and this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you can possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little Shellhead video next to subscribe, or bell, you know what I mean. It would really help the club channel more than you could possibly know. That way you guys get notified, come to the channel, and we love talking with y'all down in the comments below, or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, photo slideshow coming up next. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and I hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.